Okay, so hopefully that's all sorted. And yes, the clicker is working. Okay, so in terms of what we're going to be covering today, we're going to start off with introducing you to the Innovation Award. So have people kind of heard of the Innovation Award a little bit, but they're maybe not quite sure what it is? Yeah, I can see some people kind of looking, yeah, maybe. So we'll be talking you through that today, so that's fine. We're going to take you, the best way to think about the future and innovation as a concept is to kind of maybe imagine what the future could look like. Hello, we've got somebody new join us there. That's okay, that's all right, you're welcome. It's fine. So we're going to put you in a bit of a time machine to the future, if you will, because that's a really cool way to think about what could be happening in the years to come. Then we're going to be looking about, think about making bold predictions, weights of history, push of the present, and the pull of the future. Now, these are all sort of tasks. Remember, I was saying you'd be working in groups, so that's a sort of group working exercise. Hi there, welcome, come on in, hello. It's all right, it's okay, just grab a seat. But just a heads up, you will be working in groups at some point. So in terms of the Innovation Award, which hopefully you're all here for, the RGU Innovation Award Level 1 workshop. So you're in the right place. So what is the Innovation Award? You might have heard about the Innovation Award, but not quite sure, like I say, what it's entirely. What essentially we try to get you to do with the Innovation Award is just to get you to think innovatively, because that could be a bit of a tricky thing to do. So how do we do that? We do that through following a set of innovative meta skills and a sort of curriculum, if you will, to help encourage you to think outside the box and think innovatively. So in terms of a little bit of history about the Innovation Award, it's been around for years, but it used to be handled by an organization called Scottish Institute of Enterprise, which has since disbanded, but they used to run it across multiple organizations and multiple schools and things. But RGU are the only university that are actually lucky enough to take it on. So we're actually the only university in the whole of Scotland that now offer the RGU Innovation Award, what was formerly known as CISA. So it might have been known as, you might have heard of CISA. Anybody heard of CISA? No, okay. That's what it was, up to 2 or 3 years ago known as. And with that, it was an external accreditation. So now it's not so much externally accredited, but you do get it as an extracurricular activity, or RGU. So you might have heard something about RGU Plus. Essentially, it's offering you those extra skills on your CV that look quite interesting potentially to an employer. So you can imagine the situation, you're in an interview with an employer, potential future employer, and they ask you, can you give me an example of when you've thought innovatively? And most people say, oh, they might struggle with that. But then if you can point to this on your CV, your actual credentials from RGU to say, well, I actually took part in this. Funny you say that. I actually took part in this 3-level extracurricular program at RGU, which no other university offers, by the way, in Scotland. And I was able to achieve these sort of innovative meta skills. So it's a sort of thing that just gives you that extra step in terms of it maybe looks more interesting on your CV, and also maybe opens your mind in terms of maybe potential future study or future business ideas. It might not necessarily be that you start a business, but you just maybe apply it in some way to your studies or your future work, even in terms of projects. So that's a little bit about the history of the Innovation Award. Like I say, is an extracurricular program, so it's not credit bearing, okay? But you will get it on your HERE report when you graduate. And what we try and do in the Innovation Award is we try and basically, like I say, break it down into different levels. So you're all currently in level 1 just now, which is your sort of entryway. And it's really a kind of a light touch of what is innovation, right? Getting you to think about the concept of innovation, and also getting you to think about the concept of innovation within different industries. So there's a lot of business analytics in here. There's health, public health. What does it look like when you bring those two industries together? That's where you sort of see that creative thinking coming into play. So level 1 really is this open workshop. There's 2 routes. There's the open workshop, which you're all at today, and that's a 2-hour workshop. So you're all welcome here. And then after that, we get you to submit a 100-word short reflective piece on innovation. And when you submit that 100-word reflective piece, you can then gain your level 1 certificate. So it's really that simple. The fact that you're all here today, you've attended, that's the tick in the box, the first tick for the open workshop. And then the second tick would just be to submit that quick 100 words. And all we're looking for there is just to show that you've thought about the concept of innovation, and it's a self-reflective piece for you in terms of how innovation will potentially affect your future work and your future career. The other route you can take for level 1 is if you take an accredited module. So some modules at RGU bear the RGU Innovation Award accreditation. So what will happen in that case is the students in that module just need to take that module like normal. And at the end of their module, they would then be able to file their 100 words or submit their 100 words essentially, because that's just saying, hi there, welcome. Oh, hi, Pauline. It's all right, find a seat. Hello there, you're welcome. So just by naturally taking part in that module, essentially, because it's Innovation Award accredited, what that is then saying is that just as a natural part of the teaching of that module, there's elements of innovative learning in that module. So those students don't need to come to this workshop, if that makes sense, because they've already taken part of that module. But the thing about that is, of course, that sometimes you might need to wait till the end of that module before they can then submit their 100 words. So you guys have kind of sped up the process because you're here today, and then you can submit your 100 words, which then allows you to go on to level 2. And the level 2 workshop that we have coming up is actually quite an exciting workshop next month. We've actually just got it confirmed with Fierce Beer. So if anybody's aware of Fierce Beer and likes marketing proposals and maybe wants to get in to meet them, for example, potential internship, actually have a workshop coming up with them next month as part of our level 2. So just to explain what the level 2 workshop is, basically it's an industry challenge. So what will happen is that different industries will come in to us, RGU, in this room typically, and set the students a challenge. So we've worked with VSA in the past, we've worked with CFINE in the past. We help them to improve, for example, their recruitment and retention of staff using innovative solutions. So that could be a challenge that VSA set the students on the day. Come up with a set of innovative solutions to help us improve our retention and recruitment of support care worker staff. So that was a real, very real challenge that VSA came in, and John, the boss of VSA came in, and they'll come the day and actually spend the afternoon with the students. And it's actually a really good opportunity to meet potentially future employers, because we set sort of tasks and kind of challenges during the day. And it's a sort of thing that if students stand out, we have one student who stood out and now she's doing an internship with VSA, for example. So it's a really good way to set or get involved with real world problems using innovative sort of setup. I think this can start a little bit. It's coming back. It's the antenna. I've got to stand a bit close to lose signal sometimes. So is the level 2 workshop. So like I said, that's really good that you guys are here today, because then come along next month for the Fierce Beer if you submit your 100 words as well. So it's a quite interesting day. It's very dynamic. There's lots of different kind of students from different disciplines as well. So it's quite fun. So that's a level 2, and it's always sort of, we kind of center it around the sustainable goals as well. So we always try and put that sustainability piece in there as well. And for level 3, that's a self-reflective piece. So essentially we start off with level 1. It's a sort of a light touch. You're submitting your 100 words. Level 2 is your sort of industry challenge that's set. And then your level 3 is your self-reflective, but more project-based submission. So we just get you to think about an innovative project you might have that you might submit to a future employer, for example. So it's more of a template we give you for that, and you just sort of fill that in. So again, that's at your own kind of pace and leisure. But the level 2 workshops and the level 1 workshops are set. So if you miss those dates, then, that's kind of you for the academic term. This doesn't seem to be kind of comes and goes a little. I don't know if the battery's low. Yeah. Oh yes, if you could click, that would be brilliant. Thank you, Lucy. Yes. So hi everybody online. Hello. Hopefully you can see us okay. Hi, hello. Okay, so great, thank you. So what competencies are we talking about here when we talk about innovation? Because it's pretty hard to put innovation in a box. How do you describe innovation? So what we've done is we've actually broken it down. So each level is broken into 3 different tiers, if you will. So level 1, it's all about collaboration, it's about curiosity, it's about communication, creativity, critical thinking, getting you to sort of start thinking about those sort of soft meta skills and you know how you can actually apply them in real life work. You know, if you're dealing in topics with engineering and things, often it's a bit of a struggle to be able to think creatively and things. So that's what we try and do here with the Innovation Award level 1. Level 2 is all about integrity, initiative, influence, and interdisciplinary skills coming in there as well. And that's where you see your sort of, you know, pushing yourself to think about industry challenges, getting out there, speaking to the employers or whatnot, or the people that are there on the day as well. And that sort of cross-collaborative thinking as well between the different schools, working in your different teams. We see people come in from the School of Computing, for example, and they all want to sit together, but no, we break people up. So we make you sit with somebody from School of Engineering, we make you sit with an architect, and you're all, you know, friends at the end of the day, which is great. So it's not such a scary thing, but it's really interesting to see the solutions that from that cross-collaborative approach. At the top, we've got analysis, adaptability, and accountability as on your level 3. And that is, like I say, your sort of self-reflective, project-based submission that you can submit anytime on campus Moodle as well. Yeah, and like I say, it's all around the sort of the employability framework as well. Okay, great, thank you. Next slide. Okay, yeah, so in terms of the benefits, these are just a few of the quotes from what students have said to us over the years. We've had over 1,000 students take part in the RGU Innovation Award. You do get a certificate for each level, and people actually will post this on LinkedIn impromptu, which is fantastic. You know, people will post us and tag us and say, you know, give us a sort of what it sort of meant to them and how they're going to apply it, things like that. So it's really great to see that sort of community, you know, building online. And Pauline gets tagged quite a lot, don't you, Pauline, as well? Yeah, we like to see that popping up on LinkedIn, because it's a sort of thing, again, you never know who's looking at your LinkedIn. You never know who a potential employer might come on your LinkedIn, or somebody might see something that you post about the Innovation Award and say, oh, what's that? It's kind of interesting. So it's a great trail. It's great for, like I say, job interviews as well, and added to your transcript, and of course networking as well. So just to draw your attention to that quote in the middle, this was from one of our students who took part in the Innovation Award. He actually completed all 3 levels. He's now a senior mechanical design engineer for Europe's largest vertical farm, indoor farm. So he actually came all the way from London to attend our level 3 luncheon that we had with the Vice Principal, Lynn Kilbride. And he actually was able to say what the RG Innovation Award did for him. So he's an engineer background, but it was an academic benchmark that I was able to point to on his CV in his field to help demonstrate innovation. Thank you. So that's the sort of thing that it can do for you, essentially. It's a fun thing to do, but it's also something that could actually serve you quite well for your future career as well. Okay, so the best way to probably think about the future is let's go to the future, right? Let's get in a time machine to the future. Let's step into the future. Sorry, Lucy, can I get the next slide? Okay, so has anybody seen Back to the Future? Not, you know, anybody fans? Yeah. So we're gonna step. This is us. This is us. We're on our way. We're gonna go all the way to 2040. Are we ready? Who's ready to go? I see some people are smiling. Okay, so it's no longer 2023. We're fast forward, right? Okay, all right. So let's go. Yeah. So we're gonna look at what a day in the life of somebody in 2040 could look like. Okay. So this is about Ben. This is Ben's story in 2040. He's waking up in his vertical house, right? So this is what houses look like in the future. So gardens are all sort of indoors, and you know, it's got sort of folding helipads and all these sorts of things. Because there's a lot of people, you know, they're moving to urban cities, the population is rising. It's all about sustainable materials as well. So there's huge sort of story buildings, and you know, we typically have all our greenery more indoors on account of the population. Yeah. Ben is a drone controller, so that's his day job. He flies drones. He does things like, you know, deliveries of mail, and there's drones everywhere in the future. So it's all about, you know, managing that, because you want drones crashing in the air because of flight paths and things like that. It can get a bit messy. So that is what he does on a day-to-day basis. Yeah, next slide. Um, like I say, it's all about the traffic. So in terms of, the technical teams and things, there's quite a lot going on. There's a lot of companies that deal with drones as well. So there's all sorts of issues. There's, battery failure, storm control, weather, all sorts of factors to take on board in the future as well with climate change. So it's a really quite well-paid job, and he enjoys it. Yeah. He also works as a freelance AR designer, so augmented reality designer, because in the future, although technology and innovation is really strong, there's also a huge demand for creative skills. So people get really worried about robots stealing their jobs and whatnot, but there's still always going to be a place for creativity. So that is where he can actually let his creativity side shine. He's a sole entrepreneur. He designs posters, videos, and augmented reality platforms. Yep. This is an example of Ben's work. Sorry if you go back. Yeah. So he actually designed, it's a birding ad. I don't know if we can get it to play, but it's a little GIF actually. So you can see, yeah, that's an example of the work that Ben has done. I've done. I was pretty ballsy there in terms of lighting up my competition, but there we go. Spanish is really popular in the future as well because English isn't no longer the dominant language because there's so many different populations. So we actually design ads in different languages as well. Chinese is pretty strong as well. So yeah, this is an example of an AR ad that I've designed. Yeah. And as I wake up, my house is also waking up with me. So this is my girlfriend walking up the stairs, and you can see the stairs are lighting up as she's moving. And that's all through my AI virtual assistant. So everything's kind of hooked up, I wake up and all the temperature's just right. The lights are on. It starts cooking me breakfast as well, which is great. So my AI assistant has got me a 3D printed pancake. I was going to say this was for Valentine's Day, but we're a day late. So yeah. So it's delicious. It's some strawberry and yeah, but it's great. So I don't need to worry too much about cooking anymore. And my assistants also ordered me a pod. So there's been a few pandemics since, that whole 2020 malarkey. So now people don't really have cars that much, and also pollution and all that. So what I have is a pod that comes to my house and so facial recognition. So I can pay with cryptocurrency as well. And, there's kind of just me and I get my piece and I don't need to worry about speaking to a driver or anything like that. And it just kind of takes me to point A to point B. So works well for me. Yeah. On the way to work, there is, however, a bit of a traffic jam because a robot's building a bridge. So we have to take a bit of a detour. But these things, my assistant's got that all sorted. We're going to work with the seamless pod and, make sure I get to my destination. So we're avoiding the closed roads. Yeah. Leave the robots to do their work. And when I get to work, the way I work, it's not so much working for a big conglomerate. I kind of do more team-based work. So I work with sort of a skilled set of individuals and we kind of get together to kind of accomplish work. So we kind of have more flexible working in the future. We sort of approve our own promotions as well. And we also decide on our work shifts. I can see some smiling faces there. We decide on our work shift today is going to be from 10 till 3. So it's kind of give me some time to do the other things I need to do today as well. Yep. But at work, I do get a government alert. So in the future, the government's much more kind of wanting more about the voices from the people. So we have to vote a lot on key daily issues. And this time we are voting on, I believe it's jet engines. Yes, if jet engines should be banned because this has had a huge impact on climate change. So the average UK temperature is about 27 degrees now. So it's a bit warm. It's a bit warm, yeah. So biodiversity, but yes, it has its advantages and disadvantages, doesn't it? But yeah, so jet engines have a huge impact on the, the climate and the environment. So we have to vote on if super fast trains and electric engines might be better. Better than the planes, for example. Yeah, next slide, please. So I'm heading to the shop. I've kind of done a bit of work and now heading to the shop for lunch. And as I'm going to the shop, everything's automatic, scanning my device. I don't need any money, like I say, everything is facial recognition. I just walk into the shop and I walk out. And again, I'm not touching sort of dirty things because of all this pandemic malarkey. So everything is a pretty seamless shop there for my lunch, my sandwich. Yep. And I've got problemology class. So again, we kind of get this sense of sort of, voting and democracy and focusing on key problems and people have more of an input, there's more of an insight that people actually share for dealing with problems. And again, we need skills like creativity, emotional intelligence, things that, you know, robots, for example, can't do, but something that's really important and us to solve those problems. So we have a group that we actually get together regularly to kind of brainstorm. Yep. So as I'm kind of thinking about what I need to do today, I remember I have to get my great grandma a VR birthday or virtual reality memory. So she's 125 and, you know, we're thinking about a nice birthday memory might be nice, you know, so, or maybe a holiday memory for the family. So we've got this hooked up. That's what she's seeing now. And she's kind of reacting to it. And that's making her kind of happy slash scared. I don't know, I'm not sure. But so she's kind of fighting with someone in the holiday, family holiday, but hey, it's Christmas, you know, probably. She's having a great time. So that's what I'm going to get her. And I'm also going to get her an extra experience pod. So not only the virtual reality memory for the family holiday, but I promise her I'm going to take her to an experience pod so we can go in there and have an immersive recreation of that family holiday so she can actually experience it even more. Okay. So I'm heading to the shopping center. So that's the things I need to get sorted. I'm going to go head to the shopping center now. I've kind of finished my work. It's around 3 o'clock. So it's after. And I'm heading to the shopping center. And as I'm walking through the shopping center, my face is being scanned by AI. And this is actually starting to happen now, back in the day in 2023. But these are AIs that are scanning people's faces as they're entering the shopping center, and they're detecting things like the person's sex and the person's mood based on their facial expressions. And the reasons why they're doing this is because they're going to show me customized ads as I'm walking through the shopping center. So it's none of this showing me things that I might not be interested in. I'm a female, for example. Oh, no, sorry, Ben is male. So, you know, showing me customized ads for Ben that Ben potentially might be interested in as Ben is walking through the shopping center. And it's all about that targeted, personalized marketing. Yep. So I'm really heavily inspired in the future. Ben is inspired by CGI influencers. So this is one that's really popular, Lil Miquela. She's worked with Bella Hadid, and she's actually done brand sponsors for sort of Calvin Klein and things like that. And it's a really interesting person or AI to follow, I guess, because she has all sorts of interesting quotes and, you know, different projects she's into. And I find her it's kind of controversial, but I find her quite an interesting influencer. You never quite know really what's going to come next, but she's an example of people I like to follow and helping me make my buyer decisions in the future. Yeah. I'm thinking about also getting some virtual dresses. So these aren't real dresses that we're seeing right now. These are filters that have been superimposed. They're not wearing these garments. This is the people are real, but they've actually superimposed the dresses onto them. So I'm thinking about expanding my virtual dress wardrobe because it's great for sustainability and also gives me something different that nobody else has. And I can actually create my own look working with these virtual dress designers as well. So this is a very real company in Ukraine, DressX, and they actually can create this for you, a virtual wardrobe. Okay, yeah. So after work, I'm meeting my friends at the bar, and there's no such thing as bartenders anymore. They're kind of robots now, so the chat isn't great, but you know, it's okay. It's much quicker in terms of getting served, and drinks taste like drinks. You kind of know what to expect because it's always the same every time. So, the flavors are just right. But yeah, so we're going to head for some drinks, and then we'll also get served by robots, get some food. Again, less chat, but it's okay. We get our food on time. People aren't dropping things, which is great, or slipping and things like that. So we're getting our food in the one place, which is fantastic. believe there's somewhere in the beach that has a robot like this, isn't there? There's somewhere in the beach, yeah. So me and my pal were discussing our next wellness break, and we're going to do a resort, but this is actually a floating resort. It's a wellness floating resort that goes from island to island. So yeah, so again, really great for things like the pandemic. You know, we don't have to worry about catching things, and just we're there, we kind of walk around. Yeah, exactly. Just sort of float around, getting our massages and things like that, which is really cool. But my friend is not starting to feel great. So she's starting to feel a bit ill. So we go to see a little pod. There's these pods where you can go speak to virtual doctors and get a quick diagnosis there and then. So we don't need to go to GP surgery anymore, wait, you know, there's none of this waiting around, especially because you are feeling really ill. So time is of the essence. So we do a quick scan, and my friend, it turns out that he only has days to live. They found a lump, unfortunately. And it's quite fast acting. So it's a case of, oh, okay, let's go get this seen to ASAP. And we popped by to the mobile pharmacy to get some pills. And the pills that my friend has actually been prescribed are nanotech pills. So he can actually ingest them and they can actually target the sites of the lump. So, you know, no need for surgery anymore. This is just kind of there and then. And thankfully, the crisis has been averted. So it's great. One less thing to worry about. Yeah, so as I'm heading home, it's been an intense day, a little bit of an intense day in 2040 for Ben. So I'm downloading the news though as I'm going back home, and there's been some, you know, there's drought, so it's in short supply. Mars' base has grown its first food. Japan has an illegal AI has hacked them, but they've got it, so it's fine. And the cyber police have located it, so everything's fine. I'm also thinking about potentially an underwater cruise because the news said that they've started new routes. So this is kind of in the future, kind of sit down and see the sea life and whatnot. Hopefully not bump into anything. But yeah, okay, so I'm going home, and I'm checking my energy bills as I'm going home because my home actually earns me money. It's an asset. So it gathers electricity, solar panels, wind power as well, and actually can earn me money to actually sell back to the grid. But today's not been a great day for energy making or asset creation, shall we say, in terms of the sort of the natural forces of nature. But we've not done too bad today as well. So I'm just about to go back into bed, and you know, everything's set just right. My assistant's got everything hooked up for me. The temperature is just right. The bed is just right. And it's just playing me sort of mindfulness music to helping me unwind and just de-stress. And again, everything is automatically set up because it can detect my biorhythms and kind of what's going on in my head as well, to a certain degree. Okay, so that is us, right? So that was yeah, thanks. Thank you so much. How was 2040 for everybody? Yeah, it does go back fast. It's a bit scary, but that's it. Yeah, tiring. Yeah, it's more than enough to do, isn't there? Well, at least 125. At least, yeah. Give or take. So this is us now coming back to 2023. So we're back in the day. And hopefully everybody on Zoom, you kind of got that as well. So you're coming along with us for the ride. So those are just an examples of a fun way of getting you to think about the future. What could potentially be happening? It's 2023 now, but if you think about how quickly things are moving, especially post-pandemic, some of these things are already happening. So the virtual dresses, for example, to a certain degree, you know, the scanning as you're walking through the shopping center, that's already happening. So it's not a million miles away. And if you think about even YouTube, when YouTube first came along, so was YouTube, and now it's just dominating everything. So just think how quickly things can progress in a short space of time. So now it's more about getting you to think about it, innovation and whatnot. So can I get the next slide? So we're going to get you to make some sort of bold predictions and start thinking about working in groups. And there's times of major disruption like a pandemic and just kind of makes you think that, you know, what has worked in the past, the future. Yep. So you are the designer of the future. Is it a show of hands? Who's actually scared by the future, or does the future scare you? Yeah, 2. Yeah. Yeah, 3. Yeah, so people, yeah. And that's understandable, especially when things are moving so fast. Yeah. But then also you have a part to play in that, designing that as well. So actually kind of coming from an empowered place as opposed to a reactive place, and you are the future. So there we go. So no matter what industry you go into, just remember you will be shaping the ideas every day. Yeah. So innovation is vital. So this is our first task. So there's how many of us in the room? There's 8. Is that right? Yeah. 8. So if we could get you to pair up in 3s at least. So there'll be 2 3s and a 2 in teams. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. To get you to do task 1. Yeah, if you like. Yeah, why not? Or you don't have to. Or you want to. You're running away. Okay, so maybe just okay, sure. Oh, that's the stuff. Yeah, it's up to you. Yeah, it's up. If you want to say stuff, that's fine. Okay, so our first task as well on Zoom is if you can introduce yourselves and then select an industry or sector to focus on for the session. Okay, so introduce yourselves if you don't know each other already, and then pick an industry. So it might be travel. So something that you might want to work of to think of some innovative ideas for that industry.
I've got 17 mutual connections.
Have you? That doesn't surprise me. You might need some.
On LinkedIn, I've got 3,000.
Yeah, well, but he'll probably will as well.
Oh, so when you press broadcast, when you speak to it. Ah. Oh, very good. I didn't know that. You could actually speak and it will go to all the rooms. Yeah. Well, that's quite.
Yeah, we are thinking about some kind of e-fashion in which we have it in a smaller scale at the moment for the t-shirt business in Shopify, I think that, but we are thinking that what's happening if in the future we can use, for example, AI or 3D scanning for people that they can 3D scan themselves or send a photo, something like that, and AI can show what kind of clothes can make them look better, or how does it fit in their bodies? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Clap, 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 clap. Yes, thanks for sharing. Yes, absolutely. And then not to leave you out as well.
The problem is, as you get older, you need that more, and you're less and less digital, aren't you? You won't be able to do it.
Okay, so we've got the energy industry and we've proposed to redesign energy for people and the planet. Is that better? Yeah. Yeah. A few of the future improvements that we've came up with are mini turbines, solar, which isn't really an improvement because it's already happening, but can be improved. We've got electric transport, fusion energy, which pass on explaining that. Leah will explain that. For the trends, we've put that people in the future will want more security, more sustainability, affordable, manageable, and accessible. And for our impacts, again, sustainability, people will want to look into more sustainable energy. We've got longer usage of energy in the future, so we want more buildings to have a longer usage and adapt to future energy. If we go into like how we went to 2040 and how there was like pods and stuff in buildings that were built up for the like aesthetic or like the historical side of you, is that going to be are we able to do that as like places are protected and stuff? And also for the pods, I've put one for accessibility, especially if we focus on Aberdeen. A pod would survive the day on the roads in Aberdeen. And I've also put just how long would it last if we did go into more sustainable energy as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. Thanks so much. Another round of applause. Yeah, thank you. Great. Well, you know what? You've actually come on to the next bit as well that we're going to cover. thinking about the challenges of things like the weight of history and things. So we'll go into that in the next section, actually. So this is where we actually, thank you, we're here. So that was a great discussion, a really great mixture actually of ideas and incorporating in different elements. And I think that's great that you're sort of mixing up and kind of sharing your ideas from different perspectives, which is really good. So you're thinking about the practicality as well of these. I can hear that kind of coming through a bit. You're thinking of, okay, yes, innovation is great, but what's the practicality of it? You're talking about the Aberdeen roads and the pods and things like that. So, you know, yeah, there's lots of questions there, isn't it? Is innovation actually possible in a certain degree? What's the setting of the innovation to make it happen? So you probably noticed that, you know, we have these sort of preposterous, sometimes these predictions can be kind of really out there. And what we're trying to get you to do is think about something that's plausible. You know, we're trying to get you sort of fine tuned in. There's a lot of speculation going on about the future. And of course you need that. You need that brainstorming. And that's why, you know, when you are brainstorming, it's good never to shut things down. But, you know, in terms of actuality, things are actually possible. You don't want to be wasting your time if the time isn't right, or if the setting isn't right as well. So yes, that's what we're trying to get you to do here in terms of going from now to the future. Yeah. So things that can affect innovation or the innovative process might be things like the weight of history. So futurist Stuart Candy, he advocates our predictions focus to try and help us better predict the future. He says if we try and actually focus more on the experiential, to make them feel more tangible and less speculative in terms of the actual, if you're trying to predict the future, I guess, try and think about the actual experience as opposed to something that's just completely out there. So we're really thinking about this scenario and trying to actually put it in a setting that could actually work. And of course, nobody knows what the future will be because that's, you know, so many different elements. But when you are designing innovations, it's almost, there's no point if you're designing innovations that are 10 years too early, you know, so it's about putting in the right place in the right time. So next slide, please. So these are the things that can actually affect the future. You can see the future, plausible future is in the center there. So we've got, you know, we've got the pool of the future is kind of taking you up, if you will. And that's things like your motivations, your vision, aspirations, things that aren't possible today. So that's it's a big pool, 2040, that little day in the life. It's exciting, it's fun, it's pulling you, you want to be there, you know? There's a kind of an attraction to it in a sense. It's kind of an escapism, if you will. But there's this pool of the weight of the history, how things have always been done. And, you know, this is the way talking about the Aberdeen roads, for example, you know, the way things are, for example, there's regulations, there's policy, there's historical behaviors potentially that could actually influence. There's people that they don't want change, you know, they're actually again, actually want to stay doing what they're doing. So you have to kind of take that on board as well. And this is a push of the present as well. So there's this new opportunity of the new technologies are exciting, like ChatGPT and AI and all these things. You know, it's all these things are cool, you know, but these things are happening. You know, it's not just that they're forecast in the future, they're actually happening now. It presents great opportunities, really. And it's about how do you seize the opportunity? Current trends, demographics, all these things can actually be a push of the present as well. So, but you're kind of in that sweet spot there in the middle. So you want to be in that sweet spot. You know, you're not going too far off in any one direction there, but you're kind of going that sweet spot there. Okay, yeah. So just 5 minutes for this exercise. And again, you've kind of tested already in this group heavily. So think about brainstorming your group, some of the weight of history aspects that might actually hold your innovation back. So the industry that you picked and, you know, the idea you're kind of working on, think about things that actually might not make it possible or maybe make it delayed in a sense as well. So just 5 minutes for that. So you've got a great idea. What's the weight of history that might affect that's actually happening? Okay, so just quick 5 minutes for this one. Yeah.
Oh, oops.
Hi, Mohammed.
Sorry, I just clicked by mistake and I left the room. So I'm back in the.
Good to see you.
Okay, so we're back. Right, I had an interesting conversation just there as well with our health team. Would you like to share your findings? Yes.
Okay, so what we came up with is developing, an app with a chatbot, like we said earlier, that can interact with humans on concerns with their health and also helps with prescriptions. And also having an AI doctor right from your home that you can speak through the screen, to just tell the doctor how you feel from the diagnosis and everything. A prescription can be made. Having an AI pharmacy where the AI doctor relates to the AI pharmacy. The AI pharmacy gets your order and is delivered through the transport system for the other sector. Then the issue about this is what might affect it in the future is the public opinion on their data being leaked. That's if it gets hacked, if AI gets hacked. So how would they protect my data? Everybody gets to see my data. Or what if an hacker gets to see my data and send it to the wrong person? Or when the AI is being hacked and the hacker changes the prescription of the drugs. So it could be a lethal weapon, to target someone. Then another thing is the fear of doctors losing their jobs. Yeah, because if artificial intelligent doctor takes over the work of a doctor, so what's the point of having a human doctor? So that's it. Then the culture, like culture of older generation adapting to AI, when our grannies, they are better still going to the doctors to see doctors by self, not just using the phone. Some of the other generations don't know how to use smart devices and stuff like that. So that's just what we drafted out for the issues that might affect the innovation.
Thank you. Great. Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, that was quite interesting in terms of the multiple aspects to the weight of history, really, from different angles. Yeah, you're completely right. So not everybody is actually familiar, aging population, they're not familiar with using AI, they're not comfortable with it. So you can go along and create this, but will they actually use it? So that is a huge weight of history and the way things have always been done. Like I say, they're so comfortable going in, so comfortable speaking to someone face to face. You might get resistance from doctors as well themselves who don't even want to adopt this technology. So although, yes, you could see how it could potentially save lives, there's all this kind of extra stuff weighing it down as well. So yeah, something to seriously consider with your innovations and predictions. Okay, next slide, please. Yeah. So the push of the present. So these might be, like I was saying, just focusing on the push of the present now. So these might be little signals that you can start to notice. So on your particular industries, you kind of touched on already with sustainability and things like that. You might start to notice little signals that demonstrate, that some disruption is coming. So if you pick a particular industry that you think you want to work on for your prediction or future, you might say, okay, well, I'm starting to notice some movements here with regards to a certain thing in this industry that yes, for your level 1, thank you. Okay, take care. That might actually evolve your prediction in some capacity. So if you'd go to the next slide, please. So these are examples of industries, different industries, and how some signals in these industries might actually affect the different industries. For example, rise in AI in daily life. We've spoken about AI today. I suppose we've all heard of ChatGPT at this point. Yeah. Yes. So I think there was even an email about it the other day. So that's a huge, that's pretty big, if the university is emailing about it, so you might start to think, well, this is something that not just will affect one industry, potentially across the board. So you start to think, well, how can I incorporate this and use this to my advantage? So that's a signal of how to maybe look out for an opportunity there. Veganism is another thing that's popular. These trends are emerging. more and more space travel going on in terms of exploration. You see that more and more in the news. Greener sustainability, like I say, contactless. People need, I started noticing with the parking, even in Aberdeen, you don't even need to get a ticket anymore. You just use your card and that's used. So there's more of its contactless push of payment. Cryptocurrency again is becoming popular. So you start to think, how can I incorporate these into my particular industry? Maybe crypto in public health or things of that nature, for example. Okay, yep, next slide, please. Okay, so next task, and we're kind of winding down on the task now, is in your groups, identify just a couple of signals that might be nudging your industry forward. So it's a really quick exercise, just 5 minutes for this. So which ones do you think are most relevant to your idea? So you've kind of already identified AI and your partner is away, but I'm sure you can maybe have a little think about other ones. So just try and identify some.
Family staying with it, it's really good. He talks about the
Okay, we are back. Yes, so that was task 4. So signaling, I think you pretty much got it though, because like I say, most of you had already got to that stage anyway, which is great to see. Okay, so the next slide, please. So the last little bit here for task 5 is just thinking about the pool of the future. So if you think back to your initial prediction right at the start and think about has it's changed, you know, so you have maybe had a really grand prediction at the start, but then thinking about it in reality, the different features or different elements that can influence it, like the pull of the future, the weight of the history, the push of the present as well. So think about curating a description of a task that somebody might be doing that is using your idea. So the AI app for health. So think about tasks that person will be doing that's using your solution. So making it really grounded in a sense. And also think about how you started off your initial prediction and how it's evolved to now in terms of thinking about the different elements that could affect it. So just a quick 5 minutes for that one. And we're almost done. Okay. Okay, we're back. Right, great. So everyone's getting it, I think, at this point, which is fantastic. Does anybody have any questions at this point about what we've covered? I think you've kind of got it, though. You're smart folk. Sorry, what'd you say? Oh, Oh yeah, that's good. You learned that. You met somebody new and you know, so it was great. Okay, so this last little bit now is we're just going to get you to submit your 100 words so you can gain your certificate, and then that'll be us for today. So wrapped up on time. If there's no other questions or no questions on Zoom, and it's all kind of making sense, that is the end of the workshop in itself in terms of the covering of the innovative learning. So this next bit now is just to get you to gain your certificate. So remember I was saying that for level 1, you could submit your 100 words and then gain a certificate. So we've carved out some time because the workshop's on until 3 for you just to do that here. So have you got your laptops with you? Laptops or iPads or phones? So we need to be able to access Moodle. So if you log on to Campus Moodle, and same online, if you log on to Campus Moodle, yeah. So congratulations, like I say, you've completed the workshop, but this is just to get your certificates as well, might as well, as you're here. So if you go on to Moodle, you can either take a picture of this QR code and I'll take you to the right slide or the right page, or you can just type in this web address, okay?
I'm just asking, are they going to get a copy of the slide deck? Slide deck's on.
Yeah, I think so. Yes, yes, it will be. Yeah, yeah. So that should be fine. So if you go to that URL, or like I say, take a picture of the QR code, that will take you. And same online. So if you could do the same. So you all go into the Moodle page and just get this short and snappy done here now and then, you know, get it done. And you can basically submit the idea you worked on this afternoon, if you like, or something new. It's up to you. So we're just going to guide you through. Are we all on that page? Is the page looking like this? No. Okay. So we'll just give it a second. So everyone catching up. So if you maybe go back to the other slide, Lucy, just so everybody can get that URL. Yep. No signal. Oh, no signal. Same for you as well? Oh, okay. Signal. Oh yeah. Edgy room. Is it edgy room you're on? Yeah. It could be pretty of a nightmare, yeah. Yeah. Hopefully most of us are getting there. So it's just rgu.ac.uk/innovation-award. And if you scroll up, yeah, I can see some nodding heads, so that's good. Hopefully online you're with us as well. So if you scroll down the page, you'll get to a section that looks like this. So the Innovation Award, and you scroll down, you get to the page. Have you submitted yours already? Or have you submitted yours already? Your 100 words? Oh, okay. So you're not submitted? Okay. You don't want to just do it now or? Okay, okay. Okay, okay. Make sure you get that certificate. Okay. So if you scroll down and then you should see a couple of buttons, a few buttons like this. So you don't want to go to view module database, not the top one. So you want to scroll down to get to submit for level 1. Just this one here. Okay. So everybody can see on Zoom as well.
Slide.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get them to see the screen a bit better. Yeah. Yeah, it's just this one we're trying to show. So this is where we're going on Zoom. So submit for level 1. So you just click on that. Okay. And this is just a definition of what's like, you know, what to put into your submission. So we're trying to get you to write a short statement of at least 100 words. And the 100 words is basically answering what is one prediction you have for an innovation, which again, you could submit the idea you worked on this afternoon, that's fine. Or you could do something for your own industry, that's fine as well. And how you think it might impact your career. Okay, so it's more of a self-reflection on innovation and how it can affect your career. And like I say, you could put this one in if you like, or a new idea. Okay. So it's just a quick 100 words. Okay, new slide, please. And when you click on that submit for level 1, it will take you to this page. And you just want to click on add entry. Okay, as a tab. Yeah. And that will start your submission. So I'm just going to walk around and see. Hopefully we're getting on okay on Zoom. Don't know if any comments are coming or questions. I'll just have a wee wander, see how we're getting on.
How long after submission will you see your grade?
Oh, you go.
How long do they use? How long do James Taylor?
Getting the right fit. Okay, so hopefully getting on okay online. So like you say, you just want to click add entry and I can see pretty much people are there. Raised hand, what was the question?
Sunil, yeah, Dad, if you want to unmute yourself, if you have questions. I'll send him a.
Okay, yeah, no worries. Okay, so the next slide, Lucy, please. I'm not sure what it is, just to see. I think it's just, yeah, so you should be in a page like this, essentially. Which I can see walking around, everybody is at that page, so that's fine. So you just want to make sure you complete every field, every box. Oh, sorry, if you go back, yeah. And yeah, so your first name, student number, you can say attended an open workshop in terms of the routes for today, okay? And year of studies, formal title of your course, and then, like I say, you can put in this box is where you submit your 100 words, and that could be today's idea or something new as well.
Hi, Chris. Just a quick question.
Yep.
This one, it says if you took module root, because when I try to save this one, it says it must supply a value here. If you took a module root, which aggregator module did you take? What in? So what is the option for us to select if we attend an open workshop?
Yes, so that's what this is. So this is not a module. So some modules in the university have already been accredited with level 1. So there's a module, there's a number of modules in creative cultural business, there's some modules in architecture, but this is an open workshop. And so it's the open workshop option that you'll choose. Does that make sense?
Yep. So, but it doesn't say. So I will mention none in the drop-down list.
Yeah. So it's a second option. Yeah. So you could say attended open workshop.
Yeah. Second, there's 2 buttons. One says completed an accredited module. If you look where I just pointed just now on the screen, and then the other one says attended an open workshop. So click on that one.
And then if you like, you can select none here as well. So the next one is none.
Select none on that.
Yep. Thanks.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Great. And when you submit it, it should be confidential.
Meeting students from different courses.
Hello. Can you hear us online? Just to say we're all done. Thank you so much for your participation. Hopefully they can hear us now.
Yep.
Once you've
You can-
submitted, feel free. Thank you so much. Okay, great. It was just to say, well done, everybody. That's us done for the day. If you submitted, you're free to go. Thank you for your participation, and we'll see you at the level 2 workshop, which is coming up on the 15th of March, and that's from 9 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. for the online only version. And in the afternoon, we're on from 1 o'clock till 5 o'clock back in the innovation station if you want to come in person. But thank you so much for your efforts, especially all the way from Brunei as well. We'll see you next time. Thank you from EIG. Bye.
Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Oh yeah. Yeah, good to see you too. Yeah. I should catch up with you. Yeah, do come and come and have a chat in the coffee. That'd be good. Everything going okay? Yeah. Good. Are you back in the school? Okay.
Because our first customer
Hey!
but now it's on spot.
One customer. Yes, you know, that's a start. It's better than a lot of startups. Well done. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Make sure you submit. We know where you live.
Yeah, we'll come and see you out.
Hunt you down. She does. A lot.